Hi everyone! I've spent several years exploring different travel backpack options, and I found this really great one that I wanted to share. It's the Eddie Bauer Voyager 2.0 30-liter backpack. Something to keep in mind is that a travel backpack is very personal because everyone has different needs, and what works for one person might not necessarily work for another. So this backpack is one that fit the bill for me in so many different facets, and I'm so excited to keep using it. It's a smaller bag that really packs a punch, and there's so many design details in it that honestly blow me away. We can take a look at the exterior of the bag later. Let's just start with the main compartment. So to open it up, all you have to do is undo the two clasps on the side, which act also as compression straps. Even this detail in adding elastics to hold the excess straps in place, I think it's incredible, and it keeps the bag looking so neat. I would say that this is pretty much a clamshell bag. The zippers go all the way down and you can really see everything inside at once. I love how you still have the option of accessing it as a normal backpack though, since the sealed hinge of the clamshell is at the bottom. So I think that's better compared to some of the other bags where you have to lay it flat because the hinge is on one side. It's a minor detail, but just kind of adds a couple of bonus points. I love a bag where you can just see everything inside and it's one big open space. This bag is only around 30 liters, so for a travel bag it is on the smaller side, but given that I have a relatively petite frame and I'm only 5'3.5", then I think that this size is pretty optimal for me. In the space, you can fit a couple of packing cubes, nice and organized. It has a zippered mesh pocket at the back, along with an elastic pocket at the bottom. I personally don't use these too much. It's not like they take up any extra space, so I'm not mad about it. Along the front flap of the bag, there's also a long zippered mesh pocket that's accessed just underneath this pouch part for the pocket on the outside of the bag. It's definitely hard to access, and I'm not really sure what fits in here, but again, it doesn't take up any extra space, and if I want to be able to separate things better, then at least I have this option. Again, not mad about it, and appreciate the effort that they put in to allow you to organize things. On the side, we have a separate laptop compartment. I think this fits up to a 14-inch. There's no extra pockets in here, and it's not lifted up off the bottom of the bag. I personally don't travel with a laptop too much, or I use a separate laptop bag because I have some other work items to bring, so this compartment I like to use for papers and anything I need to keep straight. I like having it separate from the rest of my bag so I can pack my bag to the brim and still be able to access any documents that I need. For the zippers, they're not YKK, but it looks somewhat water resistant, and I'm hoping that Eddie Bauer's warranty might cover it. I don't want to worry too much about a problem that hasn't come up yet, but at the price point of this bag, I'm willing to take a risk, and I'll go a little bit more into that later. There are two external side pockets. One is a water bottle pocket, so it has a bit of a stretchy mesh on the outside, but it doesn't stretch much, so I imagine if you have a large water bottle, it would probably have to eat up some of the space inside of the bag. I wouldn't say that it's super secure, but it does have this little hoop that you might be able to loop a carabiner around just to make sure your water bottle doesn't fall out. I think this also looks nice. It's just simple and minimal, and it's nice that it even has a water bottle pocket, since I know a lot of travel bags sometimes skimp on this. The other side pocket is a zipped one that you can also use to put a smaller water bottle. This one definitely eats up space on the inside of the bag, but it's also more secure and can also hold some other things. It has a small mesh here to prevent anything from falling out, which I think is another thoughtful detail, and just has a couple of pen slots inside. I think this would also be great for a tiny umbrella or something, something easy to access, and it won't get crushed with everything else in the bag. If we flip over to the front of the bag, we have a stuff pouch at the front for a thin windbreaker or something, and as I mentioned before, these straps can also act as compression straps to hold it in place. And I think the front of the bag still looks super clean and subtle while being practical. The top quick access pocket is felt lined and is surprisingly large, and it has a little key hook inside too. This is kind of ironic since I wouldn't put my keys with something else that I don't want to get scratched, but at the same time I usually just wouldn't put my sunglasses in there alone anyways, since they would probably get crushed with everything else inside of the bag. The second quick access pocket is really big, and it actually goes down to the bottom of the front flap. I would say it's a little less practical to use since you really have to reach down to get your small items, but honestly no one ever really got mad about a large pocket. Having so many external pockets is honestly great for organization though, and because the zippers are so subtle and it's a little bit stiff because of the water resistance, I'm actually not too worried about theft for this bag, although at the same time, I wouldn't put anything too valuable in my external pockets anyways. Now we can move on to the part that I'm the most excited about, and one of the reasons why I fell in love with this bag. There's a small valuables pocket here on the side. It's super subtle and I think it would be hard for someone else to access, but I think it's perfect for your passport, wallet, and your phone. It goes up right against your back though, so it definitely would be uncomfortable if you were to put something bulky, but I think just being able to have this pocket lets you move around more comfortably, and it's a pretty good size too, which I think is great, and I really love this feature. So in terms of the pockets, I think I've gone through everything, so I'll just briefly cover some of the other features of the bag. In terms of aesthetics, there's really nothing much to this bag. It's just all black, and I actually love how subtle it looks. It doesn't look like a hiking bag, so you could casually take it into the city with you, and it just has really minimal branding, which I'm totally okay with. I think subtlety is key when you're traveling. I don't want to walk around looking like I'm carrying the world with me, and this bag definitely achieves that. I also really like its proportions. It's a little bit narrower and deeper than other bags, which kind of prevents it from looking like a massive suitcase on my back. And especially since it kind of curves up at the top, it doesn't look as boxy. Of course, that is a trade-off with reduced capacity, but it just means that I need to work harder to minimalize my packing. Again, I think subtlety is key. There's an adjustable chest strap, which helps a lot with taking on loads. I have noticed though that the shoulder straps are a little bit narrower than some of the other bags I've seen, so in the long term I do kind of wonder about comfort and durability, but it still kind of has a nice contour and I think it's working well so far. Again, for a bag that's only about 30 liters, and if I don't travel with heavy electronics, I honestly don't see a problem. The bag also has these thin webbed waist straps. I don't really see the need for them, but they're there if you like them, and you can easily tuck them away if you don't want them. It's details like this that honestly blow me away, and there are so many features in such a small bag. There's a really great grab handle here on the side and on the top. Again, it just looks very subtle and does the job. There's also a small trolley sleeve here, but I've seen from the comments that it's relatively small and fits through Eddie Bauer luggage is fine, but it doesn't fit for some of the larger ones. I think I tried it on my suitcase and it was really tight, so that's definitely something to keep in mind if that's a huge priority. For me, the chances are the backpack is just going to be on my back anyways, so it's not a deal breaker. With all the straps, they also have elastics for the excess, and honestly, I just love that so much. I got this bag on clearance for half off, so it was about $50 Canadian, and at this price point, there's honestly no competition. I just wanted a simple, lightweight bag with decent capacity and comfort. For someone who's a more hardcore traveler who's walking all day, I can see why you might want better straps or a bag with more flexible capacity. But for me, I'm just looking for a trusty little bag for a minimal investment where I don't have to have my heart broken if it gets dirty. I think that this is a bag that I can count on, and it has really incredible design details that are very functional and very well thought out. I can't wait to keep using this bag, and I'm excited to continue to pack minimally with it. Thanks for tuning in.